There are questions that don't ask for answers. They ask for control. Questions that sound polite, even caring, but quietly strip away your peace the moment you respond. Most people answer them automatically, and without realizing it, they hand over their power. Today you'll learn 5 questions the Stoics believe the wise should rarely answer, and why silence in these moments is not weakness, it's mastery. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That line isn't philosophy for quiet mornings and leather-bound books. It's a survival manual for everyday life, because most of our stress doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from how easily we allow other people to pull us into emotional battles we never needed to fight. When I was younger, I believed wisdom meant having the perfect response, the sharp comeback, the flawless explanation, the final word. I thought silence meant losing. Stoicism taught me the opposite. Real power isn't winning arguments. It's choosing which ones don't deserve your energy. And that begins with recognizing the traps. Let's start with a question you've probably heard more times than you can count. Why do you look so nervous? Why are you so tense? Is something wrong? On the surface, it sounds like concern. But here's what's really happening. The moment you explain, "I didn't sleep well. I'm just stressed. It's been a long day," you've accepted their assumption that something is wrong with you. And now, you're no longer centered. You're defending. Epictetus warned us about this centuries ago. He said it's not what people say that disturbs us. It's the judgment we attach to it. This question isn't about your well-being. It's about provoking a reaction. The Stoic response is simple and powerful. You don't prove you're calm. You embody it. A neutral reply, or silence, keeps your authority intact, because self-mastery doesn't explain itself. It's felt in the room. This question is more dangerous because it uses emotion as leverage. "Don't you trust me?" You'll hear it from partners, friends, co-workers, usually right after you ask for clarity, boundaries, or proof. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This question is rarely about trust. It's about guilt. It's designed to make you feel cold for being careful, suspicious for being thoughtful, unkind for protecting yourself. Seneca wrote that wisdom begins with distinguishing what deserves trust and what deserves observation. Imagine lending someone money and asking to put it in writing. A trustworthy person won't be offended. They'll understand. Because real trust doesn't fear transparency. Blind trust isn't virtue. It's vulnerability. And anyone who demands blind faith is often trying to avoid accountability. Few questions trigger defensiveness faster than this one. What are you hiding? Why are you so quiet? Why won't you just explain yourself? Here's the trap. The moment you answer, you step into the role of the accused, even if you've done nothing wrong. That's manipulation. Seneca was clear about this. You don't owe explanations to people who aren't seeking truth. Some people don't ask questions to understand. They ask to dominate. Privacy is not guilt. Silence is not deception. Inner space is not something you need to justify. A powerful Stoic move is to reflect the question calmly. What makes you think I'm hiding something? Watch what happens next. Most manipulators retreat because control, not clarity, was the goal. Do you think you're better than everyone else? This question usually appears when you start changing, when you stop gossiping, when you stop drinking just to fit in, when you stop reacting to chaos. Suddenly, your peace becomes suspicious. So, you think you're better than us now? The trap is subtle. It pressures you to apologize for your growth. Epictetus taught that improvement requires humility. But humility is not self-erasure. Choosing peace doesn't make you superior. It makes you intentional. Often, silence isn't arrogance. It's alignment. And here's a hard truth. People often mock what they don't understand, especially when it reminds them of what they're avoiding. You won't get offended if I'm honest, right? This is honesty's most dangerous disguise. You won't be offended, but whenever someone asks this, they already know they're about to cross a line. Epictetus advised us to avoid battles that don't concern our character or our peace. Not every truth deserves access to your mind. Real honesty doesn't need a warning label. It arrives with kindness. A calm response like, "That depends on what you're about to say." Or, "If you're worried I'll be offended, maybe it's worth reconsidering." Returns responsibility to the speaker and protects your inner space. Stoicism does not teach silence out of fear. It teaches silence out of self-command. You are not obligated to participate in every emotional game. You are not required to answer every question. You do not owe reactions to people who benefit from provoking them. Wisdom isn't knowing every answer. It's knowing which questions don't deserve one. Seneca wrote that life isn't measured by its length, but by its quality. The same is true of conversations, not how long they last, but how much peace they leave behind. Each time you choose silence over reaction, you become a little freer, because in the end, the silence of the wise is worth more than the noise of the foolish.